Hi, I'm Meg McIntyre of Photo Organizing Stuff. In this video, I'll be demonstrating some of the differences between Cisdem Duplicate Finder and Duplicate Cleaner Pro. It's challenging to compare applications that are used for the same purpose, but which work very differently, have very different user interfaces, and have different options for scan criteria and for selecting duplicates to remove. Please read the article that corresponds to this video. The collection I'm working with is the Megabyte Method Demo Collection. Because removing what Cisdem calls duplicates and what DCP calls exact duplicates is a very early step in my workflow, I'm using DCP to scan all the JPEG photos in the demo collection using scan criteria that matches what Cisdem uses when scanning for duplicate photos. So, the results generated in DCP should closely match the results that Cisdem would generate. For this comparison, imagine the client wants to preserve meaningful folder names and file names, and that the client had added some keywords, star ratings, and descriptions, and wants those preserved also. If you use Cisdem and your client has added meaningful folder names, file names, or metadata they want preserved, how would you select duplicates for removal with the information available? This time, I'll take full advantage of DCP's scan criteria to generate results I do not need to check. There are only 415 photos in results, but duplicates can be removed without checking results because I know nothing the client wants preserved will be lost. Now I'll start another scan using scan criteria that is slightly less strict. Because of the scan criteria I used, the only thing I need to consider when selecting folders to remove is the presence of date information in the folder path. After removing duplicate folders, 11,843 photos remain in results. I don't need to check these results one by one due to the scan criteria I set. I'll mark photos for removal based on any meaningful information and dates in the folder path. The selection assistant helps me select photos efficiently. If I had used Cisdem for this scan, I would not have been able to set such strict criteria, and the results would need to be reviewed one by one to ensure all added information and metadata would be preserved. After all duplicate photos have been removed using Cisdem, it's time to remove similar photos. As more scans are done and the histogram and features similarity percentages are lowered, the results will include more and more photos that look somewhat alike, and many duplicate groups will include completely different photos. Even with a blur effect applied, you can probably tell that most of the duplicate groups include very different photos. Now I'll select 100 photos from the DCP results to scan using Cisdem. I'll set the criteria in Cisdem to what will hopefully match the scan criteria I set in DCP. Then I'll scan the 100 photos I copied from the DCP results. I obviously did not match the criteria perfectly, but as you can see, many of the results groups do include completely different photos. Because Cisdem cannot consider photo date metadata or file names, using Cisdem to remove similar photos accurately and thoroughly will always be an inefficient process. I'd like to show you more about DCP's scan criteria and other options, but I'm not willing to reveal details about what I've mastered. What is most important to understand is that scan criteria and other options can be combined in such a way that marking duplicates for removal can be very efficient, especially with the help of the powerful Selection Assistant.